I'm the conscious lesbian on the go, spouting spirituality so that we can grow. I'm the conscious lesbian on the go, spouting spirituality so that we can grow. Hi, I'm Tyffany Howard, and this is LEZZ Talk. LEZZ Talk. You are lovable, valuable, and worthy. This is a conversation near and dear to my heart. And that's because it has taken me a long time to realize why I didn't feel lovable, valuable, and worthy. Why at times I couldn't believe that Spirit loves me. You see, when we're told Spirit loves us, for some of us, it's difficult to believe. And that difficulty comes from the fact that if love was missing in our lives as a child, if we didn't learn through the love of our parents that we are lovable, then it's difficult to believe that Spirit loves us. How many of you know how to love unconditionally? How many of you know people who know how to love unconditionally? You see, our first glimpses of love, our first experience with knowing whether or not we are lovable and valuable and worthy comes from our experiences with our parents. See, when I was a little girl, I didn't believe, I didn't know that my parents loved me, that I was worthy and valuable. My dad had his issues and he was doing the best that he could do. So he didn't teach me love. He didn't teach me that I was lovable, valuable, and worthy. And my mom, she was doing the best that she could do, like we all are. And this is not blame the parents. This is just pointing out facts and pointing out how our experiences as children become our challenges as adults. So my mom worked all the time. You see, my mom didn't hug. My mom didn't say, I love you. And recently, in the past year, I had a talk with her and learned about her childhood and learned that she wasn't taught. Her mom died at a young age, so she wasn't taught how to nurture her children. She wasn't taught about hugging and emotions and showing affection and saying I love you. So she couldn't teach me what she didn't know. So how did I learn? I learned through my experiences as a child. One experience I would like to share with you. As I told you, my mom never hugged. And I, as a child and growing up, did not like to be touched. I didn't like to be touched because I wasn't hugged by my mother. And it wasn't her fault. She didn't know any better. So I grew up not wanting to be touched. But luckily for me, I gained the consciousness to be aware that I didn't like to be touched. And then I realized why I didn't like to be touched. Because I wasn't touched by my mother. And I believe it was in graduate school when I realized all this and I decided I was going to heal myself. That I was going to start touching my body and allowing people to give me hugs. because I didn't want to go through my life disliking being touched, because we all need to be touched. So I started allowing people to hug me, and I created a new practice of being hugged. You see, what we know, we learn. And we can learn a different way of doing it through practice. So because I wasn't touched or hugged or told that I love you or that I was beautiful and kind and all those things, and my dad wasn't around because of his own challenges, I didn't believe that I was lovable or worthy or valuable. As a matter of fact, I would get angry when people told me that they loved me, because in my mind I'm thinking, you're such a liar, such an asshole. How could you say something like that to me? And now that I think about it, wow, someone says they love you. That's because I didn't feel it. Because if my parents don't love me, how in the hell can you love me? I'm not worthy of it. I'm not lovable. I'm not valuable. And when people would say, God loves you, I say spirit or higher intelligence, I didn't believe that either, because I didn't know anything about it. I had no experiences of what love looked like, felt like. Unconditional love, that's what I'm talking about. I had experiences of what I thought love was. You know, some of you have those experiences. Your parents may have told you, I put food on the table, you have a roof over your head, you have clothes to wear, what else do you want? And that was love to them. But that's not love. That's not unconditional love. You may have had parents who drank all the time, who never noticed you, who didn't give you any attention, so you grew up thinking you were not lovable, valuable, or worthy. That message was that you were not. If they didn't spend time with you, share their time and their energy with you, the message that you may have received was, I'm not lovable, I'm not valuable enough for you to spend time with, I'm not worthy of your love. So you didn't learn unconditional love. You learned, my parents drink all the time, they see alcohol more important than I am, so I guess that this alcohol is powerful. So you may be a drinker now. You may, instead of expressing your emotions and asking for what you need and healing that part of yourself, you may use alcohol as an expression, a representation of love, because you learned that from your parents. Some of you may have had parents where your dad beat your mom, and then he would make up with her, hug her, kiss her, tell her sweet things, maybe buy her flowers, some chocolate or a gift, and she'd take them back instead of leaving. And so you were taught that when a woman gets beaten, that's love. Your experience may have been that if I'm feeling some pain, if a man is hitting me, or if you're lesbian now, because most lesbians have had relationships with men, so your focus is now, if that woman is beating me, even though you saw it as a child, as a man, but if that woman is beating me, is hitting me, ooh, that girl loves me. That's not love at all. If you have that kind of partner, that's not love at all. She learned that, and she probably learned that from her childhood. She saw a man or a woman, whatever it may be, beating up on her mom And it's in her mind. It's in her vibration. It's in her spirit that that's love. So now she hits you. That's not love at all. You see, for most of us, we don't know what it is to be lovable, valuable, and what our worth is, our self-worth. So we're adults now, and we may be teaching this, if we have children, to our children, and we may be acting this frustration and anger out in our relationships because we never learned, because we are still operating from a false framework, a framework that was harsh, a framework that didn't teach us about unconditional love. So in every video at the end, I tell you, I say, I love you and Spirit loves you. And some of you may have gotten pissed off by that and may have been thinking, how can she say that she loves me and Spirit loves me, higher intelligence loves me? Because also, it's some false religions, they teach us that God doesn't love us, Spirit doesn't love us because of our lifestyle. That's a lie. That's a lie. These are people who have also come from dysfunctional families and upbringings. So they have no authority to tell us that Spirit does not love us because of our lifestyles. And because we have not learned and experienced unconditional love, we believe it. We make it a personal identity, our story. We shun Spirit. Because Spirit and religion are two different things. Because we don't believe we are lovable. We don't believe we hold any value. And we don't know our self-worth. I remember when I was 17 years old and we needed money. So my mom decided we were going to distribute telephone books to make extra money, my sisters and I and my mom. So we go do this. Well, it's the day of my birthday. And my mom forgets to tell me happy birthday. And again, our parents were doing and are doing, if they're still alive, the best that they can with us. And that was more of a validation. I took it as a validation again that I'm not lovable, worthy, or valuable because my mom forgot my birthday. You see, we do this to ourselves, right? We have this notion of something and then we seek validation and we get the validation, so we keep hanging on to the story. Well, today I can tell you I am lovable, and so are you. I am valuable, and so are you. I am worthy, and so are you. You can stop searching. Because I was searching all my life because I didn't know. I was searching for this. What is this love? I don't feel it. I don't know what it looks like, what it tastes like, what it feels like. I haven't had that experience, so I was always searching for it in people and things. I wanted to grasp it. So I made up a story of what it looked like, what it felt like. And some of you may have made up a story as well. Someone loves me if they play hard to get. That's not love. Some of you may have a story. You may have been taught that, oh, when someone buys me something, when someone gives me a gift, because that may have been your parents' way. They don't spend time with you. They don't tell you that they love you. They don't give you hugs. They buy you gifts instead. They give you money instead. So you have learned that when I get a gift or material things, that means someone loves me. And when they don't give me a gift or material things, they don't love me. If that's you, those gifts, those things, they're great. But that's not unconditional love. It's a thing. It's a material thing. It's not unconditional love. Unconditional love is that love where someone, you feel that you are lovable no matter what you do. They love your twitches. They love your smile. They love that you scratch and you get nervous sometimes. They love you no matter what your shadows are. And if you have never felt that and experienced that as a child, then it's understandable why you don't know that you are lovable, worthy, and valuable, and that Spirit loves you. I hope you think about and ponder over this talk. Because we have to write a new story. We have to create a new practice. Everything that you know now, you've practiced it, so it became normal. Well, you can start a new practice. That's why I talk about self-love. You see, part of being lovable is loving yourself. And if you were not taught that, you cannot understand what I'm talking about when I say love yourself. How can you love yourself if you don't believe you're lovable, valuable, and worthy? I understand that. Well, now you have some awareness and some knowledge of it. So what you know now, you will be held responsible for. Those excuses, those stories that you come up with to keep yourself stuck will no longer work anymore. Now that you have watched this video, you are aware. And you can do something about it if you choose. You may choose not to. Have a talk with your parents if they are still here. If they are not here, if they've gone to the afterlife, you can still talk with them. Talk to your friends who are open. Talk to your relatives who are open. Find out about your parents' childhood so you can see, that's why. That's why my parents behaved that way or did this and did that. Know that they were doing the best that they could do, and you were doing the best that you could do, and that you can do. We can only be taught what the other person knows and what they were taught. But you can do like I did. When you see that there's something in you that needs healing, you can heal yourself. You can start communicating about your feelings. If you don't like to be touched, ask yourself, ask Spirit, why don't I like to be touched? Show me how that started. And you can take baby steps like I did to learn to like being touched. If you're in an abusive relationship, that girl doesn't love you. Seek some help. Okay, know that that's not love. Think about ask her, where did you learn that? And then ask yourself, why am I accepting that, subjecting myself to that? Where did I learn that? And as I stated, there are many lesbians who were in heterosexual relationships. And we may have taken on those behaviors of men who were not aware, because they too only know what they were taught. Let's stop this cycle. If you have children, talk to them, show them, hug them, love them unconditionally. Don't put conditions on your love. That's not unconditional love. Do some tapping, which I always recommend. Tap on this issue. Meditate, pray, be out in nature, someplace quiet and still where you can think about this. Take one step at a time. You will get there. I got there, so you can get there. I love you. Spirit loves you. You are lovable, valuable, and worthy. Till next time, I'm Tyffany Howard. This has been LEZZ Talk. Namaste. Namaste.